Well, let's go ahead and get started. Good morning and welcome to the Southeast and Caribbean Disaster Resilience Partnership 2022 annual meeting. My name is Lindy Betzold and I'm serving currently as the chair of the SCDRP Advisory Board, and I am honored to be able to welcome you today. We have a very exciting lineup of speakers over the next 2 days, and we're looking forward to digging into some hot topics around resilience, recovery, and adaptation. First, I'd like to go over some brief logistics on how to engage using GoToWebinar. Next slide, please. Great, thanks. On your control panel, you will see these icons. To ask a question, click on the icon that looks like a tablet and type in your question, and it will be transmitted to the conference organizers. If you need to come off mute to ask a question, please raise your hand. That is the icon right underneath the tablet. Next slide, please. We would like to extend a special thanks to our 2022 meeting sponsors. Without your support, we wouldn't have been able to draw in such an incredibly talented field of speakers. And this is actually our first year with sponsorships, and we're really grateful to these organizations for supporting our efforts here. So many thanks to SLR Consulting, our bronze sponsor, and IEM and PNC Bank, our silver sponsors. Next slide, please. Additional thanks to our sustaining members whose contributions have helped to strategically build the partnership and provide critical support to maintaining this excellent network of resilience, recovery, and adaptation professionals. This is also the first year we've had higher level memberships, and we're thrilled at the support our community has shown for the Southeast and Caribbean Disaster Resilience Partnership. Next slide, please. Meredith and I couldn't have done it without our excellent steering committee, which we feel reflects the diversity of disciplines, geographies, and backgrounds across our regions. Thanks to each and every one of you for your contributions. Your perspectives have been invaluable in crafting a robust agenda. Next slide, please. I'd also like to recognize our year-round volunteer efforts of our very dedicated and involved advisory board also during this time, and thank them for their commitment to the partnership. They help steer the ship toward a more resilient and equitable future for the Southeast and Caribbean. Next slide, please. I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to all of our participants today as we explore the theme, Unique Communities, Shared Challenges, Building Resilience Equitably. You'll notice as we move through our sessions that you'll find each topic will seek to address both the local community and equity aspects during the session. We've worked hard to craft the content of this meeting to interest and build the capacity of a wide variety of resilience and recovery professionals that engages the Southeast and Caribbean Disaster Resilience Partnership. This is the flagship effort of our partnership, and we feel sure that the speakers and discussions over the next 2 days will help us to continually move toward our goal of strengthening community resilience and supporting rapid disaster recovery from storms and disasters in our region. This group is working to serve as the primary network for professionals in emergency management, climate adaptation, and disaster recovery in the Southeast and Caribbean. We welcome participants from the USVI in Puerto Rico, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, as well as participants from across the nation joining today. We're delighted to have a broad spectrum of sectors represented with great participation from federal, state, local government, nonprofit groups, academia, and private industry. And thanks to each and every one of you for joining our meeting today. Next slide, please. Today, we'll kick off with updates from our regional geographies on resilience efforts. We'll move into a session on building resilient infrastructure, and then we have an opportunity to provide input on chapter content and priorities for the 5th National Climate Assessment. We'll close the day with an amazing collection of actionable tools and approaches to support inclusive planning. Next slide, please. Tomorrow, we have an equally excellent lineup that explores extreme heat impacts on health and communities, funding resilience in smaller and underrepresented communities, managed retreat and climate adaptation, and nature-based solutions as they apply to climate, disaster, and community resilience. The meeting agenda was sent to you in advance of the meeting. It can also be found on our meeting website, and it also can be downloaded from our handouts tab on the control panel. If you open up your control panel, there is a section called handouts, and you can download that directly from your control panel should you be in need of additional information about speakers or the lineup. All of the speaker bios are at the end of that document for your reference. We will be having brief introductions during the sessions to make the most of our time. Next, please. And the last thing I want to share with you before we dive into this great agenda is our activity to help collect information to benefit the next generation of resilience and recovery professionals. As you move through the sessions, please consider these questions and provide input that might help someone get a bit closer to their early career goals. I'll put this link in the chat box so you can contribute to this resource throughout the meeting. This is a Padlet exercise, and anyone can join this exercise just simply by clicking the link that we'll put in the chat box here in just a moment. And we're asking the questions, what did you hear during this annual meeting that's important for the next generation to know? Highlighting any resources that would be excellent for young professionals in resilience and recovery careers, tips for success, and things that you value about your job. We're hoping to collect a variety of information to help build our next generation of resilience and recovery professionals